Hello there. How you doing? Jeffrey DeSocio, owner principal at IMC Business Solutions for our weekly social media marketing and business networking video. And I'm kind of putting them all together because this week what I like to talk about is why you need to have an updated LinkedIn profile or any other social media profile for that matter. And I also want to talk from an individual professional perspective, as well as if you have a company and a company page on LinkedIn. Now, I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. Just it's just my work and what I do. My networking and business and my profession and all. And what I really notice a lot is there's a lot of people out there that have incomplete profiles. Something's missing that's not updated. Still has like an old job that was like 3 jobs ago. That's their lead job, or even they're no longer at a company and it still says they're there. And so what that really does is you have to realize one thing. When somebody looks you up on social media, and usually LinkedIn's probably the first one that comes to mind from a professional perspective, that's like the first impression of you. It's just like if you go down the street and you see a nice house or you see a nice view, driving down a road and it's a nice view or something. That first impression of a place is really, that's something you always remember. So when somebody's on LinkedIn, they're looking you up and your information's not right, it's old, it's incomplete. That's their first impression of you. And likewise with your company. Now, if you do have a company, you should have a LinkedIn company page, as well as some correspondence showcase pages. And likewise, with a company page, normally you would have an about section, the people that work at the company, job opportunities, and every other information like that. And it's really important to make sure a lot of that information is up to date. Again, it's a first impression. So what I suggest you do is you do take a look at your profile. I think you take about 15, 20 minutes of your time today. Look at your profile. Make sure it's up to date. Make sure it's an all-star profile. Your pitch is great. Your headline's awesome. Your summary is up to date. Wherever you're working, that's up to date. And if you're not at a company, I remember there's a guy I worked with at a company about 5 years ago, and he left the company like 5 years ago. I looked at his profile today, and it still says he's there. And the first impression to me is say, this guy's not doesn't have he's not with it. He's not with it right now. I mean, if you're not keeping that stuff up to date today, you're gonna fall behind, and you're not gonna have some great first impressions out there. That you are up to speed with kind of the way things are today, because the days of resumes, cover letters, and all that to find that great job have passed. Your The first impression of you is your LinkedIn profile. So really having a great headline, a banner on the top of the screen, your picture is up to date. It's not a picture of you from high school, and the jobs that you do, that they're up to date. Jobs, companies, in the experience section and certifications are all up to date, because it's so important to do that, because what's going to happen is opportunities going to pass you by, and then it really ultimately helps out with from a networking perspective. Likewise with a company, I've seen company pages with jobs listed that are no longer open. It's like, maintain that stuff. You got to maintain the information in social media. And I mentioned a lot about LinkedIn because it is the most used professional platform, but also applies for other platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok, where the information about your company and you needs to be up to date. So, homework for everybody out there, take care of it, look it over, make sure that if you're not at a company, don't be bashful about the fact you're not there anymore. End it. If you're not there, put the end date in there, and then move on. Make sure the information's up to date. All right, have a great week. And as always, if you need any help with your LinkedIn profile, that is something that we do. So let me know. We can help you out with that right away. Just get in touch with me, Jeff DeSocio, and we'll get you up to speed and will increase those first impressions of you and your company. Have a good day.